says in verse 25, I believe, that the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whosoever trusteth in the Lord shall be safe. And then, of course, in Hebrews 11, that great faith chapter of the Bible, where we have what we call, we Bible students, we call it the Hall of Faith. Not the Hall of Fame, but the Hall of Faith. Read it, folks. Hebrews 11. It's so great. And read, also, Google Fox's Book of Martyrs while you're at it. Now, in Hebrews 11, it gives a litany of these great heroes of faith over time, biblical figures that are household names that we're familiar with today. And it says that some of them were sawn asunder. Sounds kind of like modern day ISIS, doesn't it? Now remember, sometimes when those guys with hoods on that are claiming to be ISIS, when they're carving somebody's head off, you're really looking at a black op guy, a CIA guy, you know, who's doing a false flag, wearing the uniform of the enemy. This was done, you know, back in World War II, World War I, it's always been done. But again, that reference in Hebrews to being sawn asunder kind of reminds you of what we're witnessing sometimes on the news today, where they cut people's heads off. But it also says that some of these great heroes of faith actually subdued kingdoms. Some of them subdued kingdoms. Now there is a kingdom that's out there. It's really, I mean, it's all around us. It's being manifested right out there on the road. It's the kingdom of darkness. The kingdom of darkness. People who don't know it, but they're serving the father of lies. They are serving the kingdom of darkness. They are advancing the agenda of the kingdom of darkness. And that is a kingdom that needs to be subdued. It needs to be fought with grit and gut and fiery determination. And if it is fought according to the precepts and principles of the Word of God, there's no limit to what God might do in the way of an outpouring of His miraculous power upon these enemies of the truth, these enemies of the First Amendment, these enemies of the white race. And by the way, another term that we need to begin to contemplate and consider is the term race traitor. Race traitor. You know, when a black man like Clarence Thomas, who by the way is the best guy we've got on the Supreme Court right now, when a black man like Clarence Thomas espouses conservative philosophy and ideology, what do they call him? They call him an Uncle Tom. They pin a name on him to attempt to discredit him. And of course, you know, more abrasive, strident spokespersons for, you know, the black race, like the new Black Panthers, they would even go so far as to call him a race traitor, Clarence Thomas. Well, that's a term that we need to consider too, because there are a great many white people who have a biblical responsibility to support and defend their own kinsmen. And yet, not only do they totally lack a sense of awareness and understanding as concerns their extended racial family, but they will go way, 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 way out of their way to curry favor with another race, and at the expense of the well-being of their race, the white race, they will actually promote the interest of other races. And the grandfathers and great-grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers and great-great-great-grandfathers, etc., of these people who are showing up here to express their hatred and antipathy toward me and my message, their forebears would be ashamed of them and would be wholly disapproving of what they are doing. So at the present time, we will conclude this installment of our reporting live from Highway 64 in Ocoee, Tennessee. The protest going on by James Waller, self-anointed prophet, spokesman of, and the judge, jury, and executioner, really, for God, according to what he has pronounced out of his own mouth. We will seek to continue to report this story and stream live from it, God willing, in the time frame ahead. And we thank you for your interest.